All right, guys, they're done. It's 10 feet of 6-inch cedar scallop top landscape edging. And I'd like to tell you it was easy, but it wasn't, okay? Each of these take 4 cedar pickets, 6-foot flat top cedar pickets, and 42 feet of stainless steel wire. And each of these have 42 different slats. Okay, so watch the build and see if, and I'm sure I didn't do it the easiest way. The outcome of the project, I think it turned out really cute, and it's going to be good for my friend who I made these for, so watch it up. First step, rip your pickets in half. I used a table saw. Then I marked each board in 6-inch segments and used a can to make this circular top. So rather than cutting each of the boards into 6-inch segments, I left it long to cut these circular patterns out. And what a lousy jigsaw I am. But good thing there's second chances, because I can sand them up and fix the boo-boos. All right, we got the stack of these done. Now what we're going to do is give them a quick sand, especially the ends. We're going to even out the oval. It was cut more on a bevel than straight accidentally. And then after I get that end finished, we'll cut all of them the same length, because they're not that consistent. So I'll get that done. All right, I got all these sanded down, just a real quick job, kind of got them in a circular form, and it wouldn't have been so hard, but my jigsaw was going on a bevel, so that could be a cool touch. But anyway, I tried to get them uniform. Now it's time to take them to the chop saw and cut off all these, and I saved these for last so that I could get them all just the same height. So I'm going to get that done now. So much for the same height. Okay, we've got them all cut down, sanded. Now we just got to sand this rough a little bit on this edge here. We'll do that on here. Okay, now we're going to waterproof them. Over. Okay, all the sides as efficiently as we can. Wasn't that fun? I can't tell you how many times it fell over and I had to restart before I could get it to work. Things you do for your B-roll. Anyway, we're moving right along. Okay, we're on the last step. Besides having that fun, here's what I'm up to now. Okay, so we got this stainless steel wire here. It's 16 gauge. I measured 4 10-foot by 6-inch sections of this. I don't know if there's an unwinder. I just unwound it as I went and measured 3 inches extra on each side with these spacers in the middle. These are louver blind slats. I built a birdhouse out of these. It had this size, and these ones are ripped down, and these ones are perfect. So that's what I'm using for the spacers. You can use anything you got, you know, just however wide you want to. You can make them wider. You can stick them right together if you want. I would not have the two edges touching each other. That's how it traps moisture and starts rot. So it's best to leave a little space of air between. So anyway, and then what I'm doing is I've got these 9/16 staples, which is just a little more than 1/2 inch. These are 1/2 inch cedars here, but I already did one and they didn't shoot through, so we're good to go. So here's what you do. You get these lined up, pushed up against here, and then I put this, I don't know if you guys, there's little arrows on here that, you know, right there. I put that tape as a marker. There's one on the end too. See that arrow? That tells you where the staple's going to come through. Okay, so on these, we want to go as close to the edge, but not so close we tear it out. Okay, so I'm going to go about right here. See my mark? Okay. And I'm holding this all together. This border is going to hold it. We just push these each up as we go. And the wire wants to bend. And this one I've learned I can just put it right at the edge. Boom. Okay, so you get the right idea. You just keep going right on up and pushing it up and keeping the wire as straight as possible. Mine does a little zigzagging. That's okay. So I'll finish up and show you the results. Hi there. Trying to measure. Okay, and a couple more tips. I had already done a test one on the same wood and with that size, and it will not come out, so that's a strong tight hold. And also I put the best side on the other side where the wire is not going to be, so the best side is going to be facing. Okay, another thing on your spacers, see I can't use these because they're too wide, and some of these are a little bit taller than the wood, but when you use these you want to have it running parallel to the ground, see, and not up and over like this. But it's just such a small, if there is one slightly above it, we won't worry about it. Because on this project we're on the floor and we can hammer whatever staples didn't go in all the way in. Okay, so last year I made some flat top landscape edgings, and actually these were 6 inches and I cut them in half. And I wanted to show you that just one string does not work because they were very hard to get in here. And also on the spacing, if you don't give some space, then you can't turn them like I wanted to turn them in here. And so I had to flip this one the other way so I see the green. I was just using up materials I had. So anyway, those two tips, a little bit of spacing if you want any flexibility going the other way, and you've got to have two strands. Okay, and then a couple other things on this and how much these costed to make. Okay, so I would do it different next time. I would give, instead of getting 24 boards, I would just get 22. That's why I've got this little bottom part here. It's a shame, and but the reason I left them long was because then you have more to hold on to as you're taking your jigsaw around. It's kind of hard to hold just a smaller board, is why I did it that way, because it takes 4 of the cedar boards, and I got mine for $3.25, and then I was wrong in that first video. It's 21 feet per section. They're 10 feet sections, and so we needed 40 feet plus another 3 inches on each end to tie them together. So I got a killer deal on that. That's 16 gauge. I got 360 feet for $24.95, and so the wire only cost $2.91 for stainless steel heavy gauge. And then of course I had a few staples and waterproofer and stuff. I just put $2 for a grand total of $17.91. But if you that leaves a little room for error. I think I used my 4, but you know, some of the boards are just not acceptable, see, so you got to leave a little room for error on the calculations. But on this one here we needed 84 and we had 96, so we were good to go. I think I had 8 that didn't work. Here's that gnarly thing. Anyway, so that's how much they cost, and then how much can you sell them for? This scallop top and the narrow ones are harder to find, and they vary in all prices. I don't even know how they make the ones at Ace. They're on sale for $11.99. It's like, how the boards cost more than that, but anyway, so I bet you could get $40 out of them. So if it's worth $20 for you to make some of those, you could whip a few out, and you could do a flat top. Is way easier, or even a dog-eared, way easier. This is the most difficult, so you might could get more than $40 too. So okay, tell them bye. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.